Right, what's up everybody? Hopefully I am live again here on the YouTube Mobile. I should be. Tony Khan is still a fucking clown, ladies and gentlemen, still a fucking clown. And AEW is damage controlling from last night hardcore and defending the bullshit they were doing last night, man. Absolutely big rips, big yikes all around. I just can't say that enough about AEW right now. They're a bunch of clowns, and they're putting their foot in their mouth right now. It's very, very, very wild to me how AEW is acting right now. And yes, I got a picture of Nit and Matt Jackson because that just sums up right now where AEW stands right now. So viewership did not change, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna read this to you. Ratings from the brawl. They're saying it went up 30.4%. They were sitting at 700,000 the other week. Of course they're going to say this. Viewership went up. They went back to their normal numbers. 814,000 is really their normal numbers. And I called that. I said that in front of Patchy, so I was right on that. I called that. I said it was not going to make a difference. It wasn't going to make a dent. AEW is going to look like idiots. And it proved me right. Because I knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to grab a rating spike. They were trying to grab everything. And by the way, I want to thank everybody that's come across my videos, been watching. It means the world to me, personally. I appreciate you guys. But some of you guys got to stop with this whole hokey pokey shit of, oh, AEW needs to die. They're WCW 2000. No, they're more like TNA 2009 through 2013. Okay, TNA couldn't get out of their way during the Dixie Carter regime and era, and when they had Eric and Bischoff and Hogan, it was garbage. I'm not gonna call them WCW 2000, and here's why I'm not. So you guys know this before somebody gets all pissed off. WCW did not have the funds. They were drowning. They were trying every which way to get TV ratings, and it was too late. The fan base left. Early 2000s, 2000s WCW or 1999 was drowning. They were losing money. Ted Turner was removed from power. They didn't have the money like they did. And their production was suffering. Vince Russo was trying to do everything in his power. Then he walked out the company. And then you had David Arquette win the championship. So, yeah, there was terrible times in WCW. That's why they went bankrupt. That's why Eric Bischoff was trying to buy them. And if you guys know the history. So I'm not going to call them WCW 2000 because they do have capital and they can turn this around. Seriously, they could turn this around. And before one of you hatred people come into my comment section and write me a novel on the idea of hatred, look, you're one-sided. I saw a lot of that last night, just people wishing death. And it's like, guys, it's not that fucking deep. In my comment section, I appreciate the 4.5K of people that came and watched and a lot of the subscribers. It means the world to me. But some of you were just taking it way too serious to the point to where when I was reading these paragraphs, I was like, some of you got to go seek help. Seriously, some of you really needs to go seek help, dude. It's not that fucking deep. Like, holy shit. Yeah, AEW right now, and as the reports are coming out, they're scattered. They don't know what they want to do. Tony Khan's defending his actions. You got conflicting reports. The Young Bucks want to do this. Young Bucks want to do that. You got FTR wanted to go out there, didn't want to go out there. Then you have conflicting reports. And really, let's get real here. Let's talk about the numbers. I was correct in the review. Pesci said they were going to get 900,000. No, they got more like 800,019 views. They didn't get what people were saying. I was correct. I said 800,000. They're going to stay where they're at, where they usually are. They got the usual numbers. This company's acting like they're like a 2 million viewed show when they're not. And that's a fact. But these hatred comments, guys, look, these hatred comments towards this company, man, it's not that deep. And you guys, and it's not just me saying that. There's a lot of channels saying the same. It's like, it's not that deep. They fucked up, yes. But it starts with them. It starts with Tony Khan turning shit around. And I think they can. But Tony Khan's got to get his head out of his ass and stop caring what the other product is doing, what other products are doing, and care about just being a solid number 2. And people didn't understand that when I said that. They need to concede to WWE. They're not competing with WWE. WWE is the NFL of wrestling. Okay? Are we really trying to like have, I don't want to see competition like that. They can't compete with WWE. What I want them to do is be a solid number 2 with good wrestling, good storylines, and just stop putting their foot in their fucking mouth. That's it. I mean, it's all what wrestling fans are asking in my comment section, to people I talk to. Everybody has said the same thing. All we want is fucking good wrestling with fucking good storylines and a feel-good story every here and there. That's it. Nobody's asking for them to compete with WWE. Nobody's asking for them, oh, shack up to Triple H and no. Tony Khan, stay in your lane. You have been acting like a clown. The wrestling community is literally exposing you for being a clown. This did not make a dent in what the fuck you were doing. I said it. Everybody has said it. Even the people I podcast with have said it in the PWO, have said it. I've said it. Everybody, all my friends, anywhere have said it. That AEW is fucked up. They knew they fucked up. Their ratings did not change. They went up 100,000. That is not anything to write home about. They were losing people. They went back to the normal numbers. They didn't even grow. I'm reading a Wrestling Observer article about yesterday's show. 819,000 people and the key demographics. They didn't go up. They said this was gonna be Tony Khan wanted this to be a fucking ratings draw. The fuck? You look even more stupid. You look more stupid than ever. It's sad. This company for a while there was the alternative. Yes, they were doing great shows. And all of a sudden, the last 2 years, they're worrying more about WWE and what they're doing. And they can't even, and the dirt sheets can't even get the fucking this, that, and the third right. Did Will Ospreay want to come out and make that promo, or he didn't? Which one is it? Are you doing stadium shows here in America, or are you not doing them? Because you got Rocky Romero on Twitter denying. Or are the Tate boys right, or are they wrong? Which one is it, Dirt Sheets? Which one is it, Tony Khan? Because you can't clearly come out and tell what is what with this company. And that's a problem. Today, you got Tony Khan defending his comments, defending what he's doing. It's absolutely absurd. And by the way, I get called an AEW apologist and an AEW fanboy. No, I will talk about the good, the bad, and the fucking ugly when it comes to any fucking company. Trust me. Do you think I want to talk about this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? No, fuck no, I don't. You think I'm having fun talking about a company doing bad? No. No. It's absurd to me that AEW today should be literally going, hey, you know what? Writing a statement professionally going, hey, you know, we did this as a ratings pop. We could have done better. And no, they're not having backstage meetings. They're not having emergency meetings. What they are doing, they're still playing on the narrative. Oh, we're victims. We're victims. You ain't no victim, Tony Khan. You never were a victim. You look like a pussy. You look like a scorned ex-wife that got divorced. And it seems like you're salty for letting this man go, which is, it shoulda, woulda, coulda. This man should have kept CM Punk, fired the Elite, because it looks to me the Elite cannot at all do a ratings draw, period, point blank. It just shows. The Elite cannot draw. They haven't been the same. Putting Jungle Boy in that is not going to change shit. They can't draw. It's a fact. Bringing fucking Kenny Omega back is not going to get them to draw. It's proven. You know why? I'll tell you why, Tony. Why you're not drawing, why you have to do shitty shit like this. I'll tell you why. And the reason you're damage controlling, because you fucked up and you don't want to admit you fucked up. Come out and just say, hey, look, I fucked up. It baffles my fucking mind as a fucking individual on a fucking Thursday afternoon. I'm still gonna watch AEW. I'm still gonna do the things. But I'm not gonna look at them the same way as I did before. And them damage controlling today is absolutely absurd. Absurd. It makes me more angry when companies, not angry, it makes me frustrated as a wrestling fan to see companies just sit here and play off in damage control. It's pathetic. It's sad. You got reports coming out about backstage morale being garbage. Well, Tony Khan, you made that fucking happen, homie. You got Hook now talking about how when his contract ends, he's gonna explore free agency. There's one of your pillars talking now. I'm thinking about just exploring free agency. I'm thinking about it. Todd goes, I'm gonna back away for AEW for a while. That's sad because most people shouldn't be walking away from AEW. They're putting on great shit, but I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. That's a Tony Khan problem. Here's your demograph, Tony, going out the door. And you know how many people have told me that today on social media that they're backing away from the company? Loads. And these same very people, let me tell you this, Tony Khan. Let me tell you this straight up from my own perspective. I'm going to continue watching because I review wrestling and I have a review channel and I talk about wrestling all the time and I'm a smart mark and I will admit this by heart. I am one of those wrestling fans that watch everything. But I'm just saying, I'm a hardcore fan. Not everybody is. There's a lot of people that don't watch wrestling like I, and that's okay. I respect it. But there's a reason why WWE is doing the numbers they're doing, and there's reasons why you guys are not failing, but sucking really bad. 4 weeks, you guys were doing amazing television. And then WrestleMania come, you can't just allow them to have their fucking moment in the sun. You just cannot let them have the moment in the sun and let Cody have his flowers. You have to go and do all this fuckboy shit. Why? I don't mean to be cursing and I don't mean to be being foul, but all this fuckboy shit. Bro, I don't need Tony Khan to be the save the day. I don't need you to be. Just be a solid number 2. But getting into the reports, we're going to talk about this. 819,000 viewers. They're up 8.9% from last week. Guys, they didn't need to beat the... Honestly, they were at 719,000. They didn't go up that far. I was correct when I said that to you folks. This is not going to be a ratings. Nobody cares. This shows nobody cares outside of 100,000 more people. They got their regular numbers. Like, I don't know. I seriously don't know why people are giving a shit. Like, it obviously shows only 100,000 people gave a shit enough to come back and watch. And probably those same very people next week. I'm going to make a prediction now. AEW will probably sit at 700,000 for a while. I'm even going to go as low as 650,000. Just because people are sick and tired of their bullshit the people won't come back until they do something dramatically that revigorates them to come back. Which is, I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Tony Khan's got to do good booking and get back to what he was doing personally. And I think that's a lot of people saying that today. But reading the reports today, and I'll have the links down below in the description for you guys after the fact. 819,000 viewers, up 8.9% last week in the audience total show has done since February 28th. And Dynamite drew a 0.30 rating in the key demo, 18 through 49 demo, and finished third on the night among original programming on cable TV. Great. You only went up 100,000 people that were more interested in what was going on than your actual show. And in stats, here, I'll show you guys. They declined. Here's the stats. They declined. They went from 819 to 805 to 811 to 828 to 822, 879, 879.8, 800,000, and then it just declined. They're going back to their new numbers now, 700,000. At the end of the night, they went down to 700,000, 799. That's not a joke. This is me not making up. Their numbers are going to be 750,000 people. Obviously, Warner Discovery are happy with the receiving. Obviously. Because Warner Discovery has not come out and said, oh man, what Tony Khan did was too shitty. No. There's other reports coming out that Tony Khan's defending his decision to release the all-in footage. And he said this is the right time. It wasn't the right time. Tony Khan, you look stupid. Let's just be real here. You look stupid. And then there's conflicting reports like this. The Bucks, Will Ospreay, didn't want to do it, but wanted to do it. And Will Ospreay was going to cut a promo, not cut a promo. So which one is it? Like, I'll have an article down below for you guys of that. Hook's talking about exploring free agency. Again, you're going to lose some talent, and I guarantee Hook's going to probably go to WWE. He should go to WWE. They have given him a shitty title. He doesn't need the FTW title should be retired, and what I think they should do is put out a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight belt for those type of like Hooks of the world, like AEW light heavyweight, or do something. They got to make their titles prestigious, but that's just me. You're losing Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's done with the company. That should tell you something. Now, I don't know where Matt Hardy's going to go. TNA, WWE doesn't look like they really want him. It looks like WWE's more youth than older. I mean, most of their talent is about 41, 40. Matt Hardy's about roughly almost in his 50s. Do they want to take a chance on that? I don't know. I could see him more in TNA than anything. You know, Wade Keller and all these people coming out and talking about this today is insane. It's absolutely insane to me. Like WrestleZone, the Wrestling Observer today, like there's conflicting reports all over the place of what AEW is doing. Like AEW seems like Tony Khan is disconnecting with the wrestlers, vice versa with this, that, and the third. This is why I've said they need a pit bull like Scott D'Amore to come in and clean up the shit. Seriously, clean up the shit at this point. It's garbage. It's shit. It's irrelevant. Anyway, the whole point of this video, this whole point of today was basically to basically talk about the news that's going on in AEW, because I didn't really want to do a video and I want to get to game streaming today. I'll be watching TNA tonight. I'll be watching Ring of Honor, of course, and I'll have reviews up to that, either a quick review or something on the range. But I'm just a passionate wrestling fan. Guys, you guys got to chillax on the hatred. One thing you guys got to understand, the hatred shit. Like, guys, I get you don't like AEW, but there's no need to write me a novel on how much you hate something. I mean, honestly, I don't go into people's channels. I don't go people's chats. And I start talking about, you know, things that I really despise in the world. Like, it's for the birds, homie. Like, and some of you need to go seek help. If you're that upset over this shit and you're taking it that fucking serious, yes, I may get passionate. Yeah, but I play it up sometimes for videos and stuff. I'm a character sometimes. In my live stream, I'm a character sometimes. So, yeah, of course. JD does the same thing. We get passionate. It's just called being passionate. A lot of wrestling channels out there get passionate. Pesci got passionate yesterday in our review. That is one of my co-hosts of what I do. So at the end of the day, to be honest with you, there's that and there's taking it way too far. And I'm all for, you know, hey, I don't like AEW. I'm going to take a step back, all this stuff. But then there's the people that wish death on the wrestlers. And I heard that in my chat. And it's like, guys, stop. Like, it's not that deep. It is so not that deep. And whatnot. Thanks for the subscribe, homie. I appreciate that. I just want to say, guys, reading the reports today, it's just AEW just can't buy themselves a break, and they keep putting their foot in their mouth. What Tony Khan should have came out. Yo, thank you for the subscribe, homie. I really think AEW should have just wrote a statement today saying, yeah, we listen to our fans. We're taking that into consideration. We need to do better. Or Tony Khan going, yeah, I stand by what I did, but was it the best decision? Was it the good decision? I don't know. But AEW needs to start going back to doing good television, man. Stop this shit. And supposedly there's other articles coming out that Tony Khan's truly got hatred for WWE and especially Triple H and all this stuff, and he doesn't like the fact Triple H runs shows, and this is why he's doing what he's doing. It's like, I personally just don't understand it, okay? So that's just me. I just don't understand it. Wrestling companies should work, you know, in their lanes, and they should be able to do what they need to do. I get WWE took their pub shots, but Tony Khan needs to turn off the TV. He needs to turn things off and just, like, somebody needs to take his shit from him, his cell phones, his shit, and have him calm down in the seat. He's like a spoiled child that's kicking and screaming and getting all butthurt. And I just think sometimes there needs to be somebody in AEW that just takes away the ownership. Somebody that, you know, tells him, like, hey, dude, it's not that deep. But this is not the first time Tony Khan's done this. Tony Khan did this with Jinder Mahal. He's done this with, early on in AEW, did this before. When they were kicking the shit out of WWE for a minute there, they were actually one of the best wrestling alternatives, and they were really killing it. And then all of a sudden, in the last 2 years, they have found ways just to lose demographics. I've been talking to people that they were going to start to watch AEW because they watched my reviews and they heard me praising AEW for doing good storytelling, and then all of a sudden they tune into this shit and they're like, I'm not going to support this company. Oh, hell no. Because of this kind of shit, it just shows, man. But reading the articles for you guys today, I mean, the key demographics today doesn't look any good. It just looks like they're at their normal numbers. AEW did not drive a ratings pop for this. And it just looks like, you know, Tony Khan damage controlling for this or defending his shit. They're putting their foot in their mouth. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a wrestling reviewer, okay? And I analyze wrestling and sports and video games. I'm still going to watch AEW because I could tell that AEW is bringing me the views. I could tell you that. People are talking about it more. And they're going to continue to talk more. The people that say they're going to take a step back from AEW will be watching it next week. I saw that a lot on a lot of wrestling review shows. People that have hatred are still going to watch AEW, and they're going to still hate on AEW no matter what they do. Those same very people that wrote me paragraphs are still going to watch AEW because they're going to try to find ways to hate on it no matter what they do. If they even, I said this to a friend of mine yesterday, or I said it in my stream earlier this morning. They can light a bag of dog shit on the ground and people would still find a way to fucking have hatred in the eyes and fucking hate a product. They can have a steaming pile of turds in the middle of the ring and you guys would still find a way to bitch, moan, and groan. Dislike me for that because it's the truth. You guys don't want to hear that, but the people that are having hatred are the same very people that are going to come watch it next week and be part of that 700, and I'm going to take a guess, 780,000 people that are going to watch next week. I think the lowest they'll get is 650. If people are that really upset and have hatred, I think, you know, it'll either go two ways next week. And with Dynamite. But Collision, I think Collision's going to take a dip. I think Rampage is going to take a dip. I think Ring of Honor is going to take a dip out of this because people are going to vote with their wallets. People are going to say what they need to say about AEW. That's just a fact at this point. But I'll have the links down below in the description for you guys. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I got to get to game streaming. I just wanted to go live real quick and talk about this. Tony Khan defending his actions. The backstage morale looks like it's garbage. Views is everything me and Pesci were basically saying. It was going to stabilize where it was. I was more right on the views compared to Pesci, But at the end of the day, we were both correct. It wasn't going to draw the pop that Tony Khan wanted. And I think people need to understand that. And these people that are defending AEW right now, look, everything we've all said has been right. Us analysts, everybody that's covering this shit has been right one way or another. I don't agree with all takes on the internet lately. I watched a lot of videos on people, my constituents, and I watched a lot of people kind of damage control and kind of try to play this off. Oh, well, this is Tony Khan. No. We got to hold Tony Khan accountable at some point here. Again, AEW again, as I said before. Like I said before. It's got to do better. Has to do better. There's just no joke on that. They just got to do better. Anyway, my name is Rev Sauce. Thank you all for the love and support and everything you guys do for me. Like I said, this is out of the blue. I just wanted to do this to cover a little bit of AEW. Tony Khan is more of a clown today, and it's sad. I don't like coming on and reporting things like this. I don't like to report bad things about companies. Trust me. I want to report the positive. I want to report good things. I want to report Strickland winning a title. I want to report the good things about AEW, not the terrible things, not the black eyes. Trust me, I'm a wrestling fan, but I like to see the good things. Like, you know, like WWE right now is doing good things. I'm reporting the good things. If they do bad, I don't really want to report the bad, but I do have to report the bad. That's what I do here. And I do this completely for free. And, you know, I'm just an analyst I'm just a wrestling analyst fan, you know, smart mark, whatever you want to call me. I'm just that person that loves wrestling, and I've been loving it since I've been a kid. You know, like I said, some of you don't get me or understand me or don't want to get to know me. You read my titles, but you don't fucking know me like that. And I think some of you do need to get to know me. I love wrestling. I've been watching it since 1994, since I've been 3 years old. And, I was a huge WCW fan, ECW. I was more of an ECW guy. And then the Attitude Era just revolutionized. I had 3 tapes recording things when I was a kid. We didn't have streaming DVR now like we have. We don't have fucking YouTube TV like now. We don't have ways to get it back like I did yesterday to watch back the footage of AEW's fuck up. Come on now. Anyway, like I said, love pro wrestling. Be kind to one another. Treat each other right. Guys, don't fight over wrestling, man. We can all have our opinions, but if you got to take it so serious, go touch the grass. Seriously. I know that I'm going to get somebody in my comment section to write me a novel and tell me how much they have hatred for a company. It's like, I'm going to be real with you. I just don't really care. I'm sorry you feel that way. Not everybody feels that way. And to sit and having to write a novel, that just tells me that you're taking it way too fucking serious. Way, way too serious. Talk about my show. Talk about what the topics are. But to sit and just go on and drag it on, it's like ridiculous, man. I'm just going to ignore your comment, or I'm just going to just laugh you out. Because you're taking it too serious. And I want to address that to my own audience, man. Like, some of you guys, man, fucking taking it way too serious. But today in the reports, Tony Khan defends his decision to release all-in footage. There's conflicting reports that the Bucks wanted to do the segment, didn't want to do the segment. Will Ospreay on Triple H, he wanted to do it, didn't want to do it. Supposedly Dustin Rhodes, this was basically what they wanted to do. And it's a mess. AEW's just a mess at the moment, unfortunately. But they could turn this around, though. I'm not going to give up on a product until, they do really, really something stupid. This wasn't enough to get me to go, oh, God, I got to stop watching them. No, I'm still going to continue to watch them. Like I said, they're only 5 years into their company, and it took WWE decades to get to where they're at. And you got to take the good and the bad and the ugly with all companies, man. I've been watching WWE forever and a day, half of my life, and they've done a lot of stupid shit. They've done a lot of bad things. And they've done a lot of good, though, too. So, if I could take the good, the bad, the ugly with them, I could take the good and bad and the ugly with AEW and TNA and so forth and so on. It is what it is. And I think some of you just need to calm your ass down and stop the hatred shit. Like, stop the tribalist shit. We could be having a different conversation in about 6 months' time, and we could be whining and dining and going, oh man, AEW turned themselves around. They're doing good storylines. The jury's out now. The jury's out on Tony Khan. The jury's out on AEW. We're going to see what they're going to do next week. We're going to see what they do for the rest of the week. And we're going to see if maybe they can turn it around a little bit. They have a week before their pay-per-view. People are going to, no matter what, the people that are hating are going to still watch AEW Dynamite. They're still going to say things on social media. They're still going to watch the highlights. It's just the way it is. And that's me as a person. TK seriously made Punk look a bit of a badass. Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah. And definitely he did. For sure. 100%. And made Jack look like a bit... I get that. Seriously backfired on his own talent. I could have looked good to the roster. No wonder why people aren't happy. I'm in the boat of I'm annoyed. I'm more of in the boat I'm annoyed. If I'm going to keep it a buck with everybody in my own streams, I've been more on the record. I'm not angry. I'm more disappointed and annoyed. You should have done this 6 to 8 months ago when all of us were reporting on YouTube the news. When Tony Khan came out to the Chicago crowd, he should have showed the footage. I do agree with a lot of people on that and just moved on. This just seems like somebody that is scorned after a divorce and is just salty that they got fucked over. And Tony Khan could have had Punk on his roster. He could have been doing amazing things. He could have decided to stick with Punk. Punk is a ratings draw. The Elite do not draw. Kenny does not draw like he once did. And the Elite think who the hell they think they are sometimes, and they don't draw. It shows. They cannot put over Dynamite like that. It's sitting at 750,000. There's a reason for that. Tony Khan, and it's going to go down in infamy with this. Tony Khan is going to look like an idiot in infamy because he betted on the Elite than CM Punk. And you're seeing that in WWE. Every time CM Punk takes a mic, every time CM Punk does an interview, every time CM Punk does what he does, they're looking way, way better. And WWE is looking way, way better. And it's unfortunate because Tony Khan could have had that. Tony Khan could have had it all. He could have had the Monets. He could have had Punk with the Monets and all these people, and he just fumbled the bag. And right now, he just doesn't want to see. He doesn't want to see the truth. He doesn't want to see the things. Wrestling fans are telling you. Wrestling fans will tell you, Tony, what the fuck's going on? Wrestling fans have spoken. And let me tell you, Tony Khan, you're gonna lose more viewership. You're losing your core demographic. Trust me. Should have been shorter after the Bucks and Kenny incident, but he let it go on. Airing dirty laundry, public, not good. Vincent or Triple H wouldn't have allowed. Yeah, no. Well, I can't say for Triple H because Triple H allowed Punk to go on air and just do what he needed to do. So, somewhat, I think Paul Levesque is loving this right now. I think Paul Levesque is loving every single thing. You know, I think Paul Levesque is rubbing his hands right now and going, I told you so. Paul Levesque is looking really good today, and I'm just pointing that out. I think this man was scorned when he got removed out of NXT. I do agree with some people that say that he's salty over what happened, and he's going to show why WWE is #1 in the world, and he's starting to show that. He doesn't need to prove anything more. He showed that with WrestleMania. He has shown that with... but honestly, WWE has protocols. The difference between AEW and WWE is WWE has protocols in comparison. They're like an actual organization, like an NFL, where AEW is not a public traded company. They don't have sponsors to answer to. They don't have people to answer to. So Tony Khan and his group of people could do whatever the fuck they please because there's no policing. I guarantee if they had, let's say, for instance, let's make an example here. If they had Trojan condoms or Mattel, right? Let's just say they had or Xbox, right? Microsoft. Let's say they had a Microsoft sponsorship. You think Microsoft would go, hey, Tony, we're paying and this, that, and the third. You think they would allow them to get away with that? No. Because they're not publicly traded, because they are privately and they can do whatever they want. They don't have to answer to anybody. Tony Khan don't have to answer to anybody. And by the way, for people to tell me Tony Khan's not made of money and it's all his dad's, actually his revenue, it was actually reported recently, this man is $1.8 billion. It's expected to make $3.8 billion by 2025. So for people to say this man's not loaded with money is baffling to me. Tony Khan is college educated, so I'm very surprised this man's going down the path he's going down, fortunately. It's just really sad. And by the way, people say it's his dad's money. Tony Khan's got a lot of money in the bank, man. Like, Tony Khan's got money. He's got money to burn. And I don't think I see AEW dying or leaving or going away. I don't think Tony Khan would ever sell. This is his baby. I don't think he would ever sell it. But what he needs to do is he needs to get better people in charge. And he needs to have his phone taken away from him. There's a lot of things they need to do to make that company better. Scott D'Amore would be one. I think Tony Khan should just become an owner and let Scott D'Amore be the second right-hand man. Let him come in, be the pit bull of the wrestlers, hold wrestlers accountable. I know Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore don't see the light of day between each other because, they had Kenny Omega as their champion at one point. And Sammy Guevara for AEW did not want to put over talent over in TNA. He thought it was a second-rate promotion. And at the time, and the X Division, it just shows that they need somebody that can hold Tony Khan responsible. Well, Jack's merch is selling for reasons. The scapegoat stuff in New Japan right now, Jack's selling because, well, people are trolls and people like the merchandise, I guess. But AEW did not thread the needle last night, man. As everybody's saying, they did not thread the needle. To all you AEW lovers right now that are, they're doing amazing. No, they didn't really do amazing things. What they did was they proved everything I said right. And their key demographic, I'm going to point this out to you guys here. I'm going to point this out. Last night at the end, 796,000 people watched. That ain't game changing. 819,000 people watching. They've always been there. There's nothing new. AEW failed last night on what they were trying to prove. It just shows. Another 100,000 people showed up because they wanted to see the chaos, and then it tailed off. Let's go right into it. So, they're showing this, and I'm going to read it word for word. If AEW is great, they dropped off 100,000 people within the starting of the second hour. People were just there to watch the segment, and that was that. AEW needs Scott D'Amore. I can believe Jack's selling because, Jack Perry should come back and be part of the elite. That is smart business. Let me read this. WWE has management and talent management. AEW has TK. If Tony Khan gets a middle manager to buffer the things, it would be better business. Yeah, of course. Well, the reason why people are siding with Jack is because it's a story, first of all. And second of all, I'm siding with Jack, not in the aspect of, he did right. No, he fucked up too. Him and Punk both fucked up. But nonetheless, Tony Khan looks like an idiot. And third of all, Jack Perry should have been back in AEW for a while. He is going to be your biggest heel that you're going to have. And he should come back and be part of the elite. I think Jack should shave his hair. I think he should be business. I think he should come back. WWE and Punk shall... Well, I'm going to say this as everybody else has said this, about AEW. and this is a fact. They need Punk to draw a ratings pop. They need Punk. Tony Khan looks like a man that's in regret right now of getting rid of Punk. Personally, he should have got it. I said that I've been on the record of this on streams. I was more of a Punk person. I thought Tony Khan should have settled with Punk and got rid of the Elite and Kenny, because it shows. Kenny and the Bucks are not draws. It shows. Even putting Jack in that spot, they're not going to draw. They're not going to draw. I've said this. Next week, I have a wild prediction. I think 750,000 to 650,000 people are going to watch. I think they're going to lose a little bit more people. I think people have had it. And I really think, their go-home show, I don't see people reinvesting into it. I think people are going to watch the pay-per-view because of Swerve Strickland, because they want to see Swerve win the title. I'll be watching the pay-per-view. Of course I will be. I'm still going to cover AEW nonetheless. Even all this shit, I'm still going to cover it. I'm still going to watch the shows. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm still going to watch the shows. I'm a wrestling fan no matter what. I'm not going to stop watching AEW because one situation happened. But I will report the good, the bad, and the ugly with them. I won't ever say, "Oh my God, everything's peaches and herbs over in AEW." Fuck no, I won't. Hell no. Hell no. That just makes me a AEW shill, a real shill, a real mark. Like, no. AEW messed up over the week. They deserve their L. They need to take their L. Everybody's been clowning on them. All wrestling shows. I was watching Wrestle Talk, JD from New York. I was watching Cultaholic. I was watching Dave Meltzer. I was watching all these people just clown. Steven Larson. I was watching them fucking. I was dying this morning. I was dying. I fell over in my own fucking chair. The shit they said. It was the most funniest shit I've ever seen. And the way they said it was funny. And everybody said they need to bring back Jack. And it's true. They got to bring Jack now. Jack is now a key vocal piece, and he needs to be. And if this was all storyline, this looks stupid on AEW's part. And I think people are going to even rip them more into shreds for it. I'm not a hater of AEW. Actually, in fact, I've been watching it since the very beginning. In fact, fun fact to all of you folks here, to all the AEW lovers, go down in my comments. Go down 2 years ago. Okay? I want you to do me a favor. I've been covering AEW forever and a day. Go down. I've been the guy loving everything AEW did and has done. But lately, they had just been tripping over themselves. And like I said, I'll call it out for what it is. Same with WWE. When WWE does a good show, I will praise it. If they do a bad show, I'm going to give them hard criticism. Same with any promotion. Like tonight, when I watch TNA, if TNA is not good, I'll give you guys a quick review because it's not going to be, it's going to not be my, waste of my time. Yes, Khan isn't human, but again, you didn't learn from the first 5 times you did it. I've said this about Tony Khan. I love Tony Khan, but he's got to do better. This is not the first time. He blew up about Jinder Mahal. Early on, AEW, he blew up about things that didn't even need to be blown up. It's not the first time he's done it. And I think wrestling fans the message that us as wrestling fans are sending Khan is this. Look, we like the fact that you want to compete. We like the fact that you want to be an alternative. We love the fact. But stay in your lane. Focus on being number 2. You don't need to compete with WWE. Nobody's asking you to compete with WWE. No one's asking you. Near Vince McMahon did over decades. Well, that's different. That's different. That is, I'm sorry. People comparing Tony Khan to Vince McMahon, you can't. Tell you why. AEW's only been around for 5 years. WWE's been around for decades. We don't have a huge track record on Tony Khan. Tony Khan has already shown us his cards, how he feels, what he thinks. You know what I mean? He puts that out on Twitter. That's just a fact with him. I can't compare him to Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon has done some shady shit. Absolutely scumbag shit. And I hope he does go down because he deserves to go down. And it's right why WWE is distancing themselves. They have to. And it's a new era in WWE. I like Cornette. And I agree with Cornette on things. I agree with Bischoff on things. I agree with Conrad on things. And yes, I cannot sit here. Vince McMahon was a whole different beast. There's a difference between Tony Khan. Announcing, showing footage for ratings, then why not make the show a banger? Put on the best talent out there show. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I agree. You got to keep the casual watchers and pull in. Yeah, he's a mess. He messed up. Yeah, true. You're right. He did. Everything on that show last night was messed up. Bill Ospreay wasn't even taking himself serious. Did you notice that? When he was calling out Triple H, he wasn't. He was laughing. He wasn't even taking it serious. And then you got reports the Young Bucks didn't want to do what they didn't want to do. Well, again, you got to realize Jim Cornette and Meltzer are 1-2 with no wrestling minds. Yes, Meltzer's not getting everything right at the moment, but Meltzer's been on the money for a lot of years. And Cornette just calls out the shit that he needs to call, like I do. And unfortunately, I love Cornette. Like, I used to not be the biggest fan of Cornette, but lately, I've been a big fan of Cornette. Cornette's been calling out the shit. And even CM Punk says he watches the drive-thru. So there's that, the drive-thru experience. And Bischoff has been right. Everything I've been saying is what Bischoff's been saying. Everything that I've been saying, a lot of people have been saying. So it's not just me. Two mainstream wrestling companies, Cornette, who couldn't keep the... actually, Jim Cornette actually helped Vince McMahon write some really good television next to Bruce Pritchard at one point in the Attitude Era. And I thank Jim Cornette for a lot of things that he has done over the years. OVW, Ring of Honor. There was a lot of good television between him and Kevin Owens back in the day. Yes, Kevin Owens and him can't see the light of day, but they made really good television together. Like, not everybody has to like Jim Cornette. Not everybody has to like my honest pick. I like Scott D'Amore. Not everybody likes Scott D'Amore. I think Scotty was really good for TNA. I just think it was, honestly, at the end of the day, he wanted to buy the company. They didn't want to sell to him, and he got fired. That's the way it goes. Yeah, it's a mess. AEW, like, you could tell everything was at the last minute. Things weren't scripted properly. You could tell just by the show quality. We called that out last night. Go watch the review. We called that out. Me, Pesci, the PWO, everybody that was involved last night called out. Even Icon said the same thing as I did, to an extent. Well, I don't watch Jim Cornette like that. I watch the highlights. Like, I watch when he talks about certain topics, like AEW. Or WWE. I don't follow the rest of the stuff that man says. Like Punk says, he watches the highlights. So do I. I watch tidbits of what I want to watch from Jim Cornette. I don't follow, like I told you guys, I don't follow the shit when it comes to Vince McMahon like that. I don't follow that kind of shit like that. I follow what I'm interested in when it comes to wrestling. And I've said that to all of you guys. Like, this whole AEW stuff, I'm interested in because it is driving views and it is driving what I'm doing. And I'm not going to deny that to you folks. But I don't watch Jim Cornette. I don't sit down and watch Jim Cornette religiously. When I'm sitting on YouTube all the time in my front room, I'm watching, like, Linus Tech Tips, things like that. But I do watch Codeaholic, Wrestle Talk, JD from New York. I won't deny that. Joe Cronin. Won't deny that. Sean's View. I won't deny that. I watch a lot of wrestling channels. But I don't follow in on that Vince McMahon stuff because it's not for me. Like, Vince McMahon did some shady shit, did some shitty shit. I don't wish on any human being any of that stuff, man. But to be honest with you, I don't follow that shit like that. I hope Vince McMahon gets what's coming to him, and I hope justice prevails. And I've said that all along. I'm not. I think when you do shady shit and human and really bad human things to other humans, I think you deserve to go to jail or pay out and pay for your crimes. I've always said that, and I've been on the record about Vince McMahon on that one. That's why I don't like talking about him, because a lot of people have different opinions, they see different things. And I don't cover shit like that. It's disgusting. I just don't. I think, when you do the shit that's been, I'm not even going to go into it because it's disgusting. It flares people up, and there's more stuff coming out about the whole entire thing. And it's sad. It's a black eye on wrestling. I would actually put it in the same boat as Chris Benoit. That's in the same ballpark. And again, Vince McMahon deserves to be bought out and erased, and a new era needs to happen, of course. I'm all for it. And I think WWE's in a good spot right now. Shit happened with Vince. And at the end of the day, I appreciate what he did for wrestling, but the back half of stuff, I don't. And that's just how I feel about it. Victims shamed, Grant, I like to point that out. Yeah, but that's his opinion, though. I can't control what that man does. Just because I like his show doesn't mean I like everything he says. Jim Cornette's wild, just like Dave Meltzer's wild. So is JD. JD's wild. So is all the Ango. All of them we're all wild. We all take takes that some people don't like. I've said things in the last 24 hours, and people are like trying to damage control AEW shit. And it's like, whoa, guys, it's not that deep. So, like I said, the reports are out on that. I'll have the links down below in the description. I love you guys. I appreciate all the love that I've been getting this week. All the things. We're going to be back with maybe a TNA review. I'm not going to make you guys any promises on that. I'll do a quick review tomorrow of anything. But I will be watching it. I will be watching Collision. I will be watching Rampage. I will be watching SmackDown. I will be watching the things. I'll probably have Icon with me. Probably, maybe, depending on how Icon feels and how he's really feeling about it. If not, it'll be with the PWO maybe. We'll do a watch along, things like that. But yeah. As far as I'm concerned about AEW, they gotta do better. They got to work on their shit. They got to hone their craft. They got to do better. And it shows. Wrestling fans are eating this up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they got to do better. That's just the way it is. People can agree to disagree with me, but it just shows. Articles are out. Everybody's talking about it. And the consensus is basically what I'm saying. There's no damage controlling on being to do stupid shit. When you do stupid shit, you get stupid consequences. And obviously, that's what's happening with AEW at the moment. I love AEW. That's the problem. I love AEW. I want them to succeed, but I don't need them to compete with WWE to be necessarily good. And I agree with Ann here, and I agree with a lot of people that have come into my comment section. I agree with everybody. They got to do better. And hopefully next week they do a good go-home show, and things, go up and up, and we see Swerve Strick. I want to see Swerve. Whose house? Swerve's house. Win the title off of Joe. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. My body is ready. And I want a good Will Ospreay and Danielson match. And I just want them to turn the shit around. That's all I ask. I don't like seeing negative shit. I don't like seeing bad news. I don't like seeing companies having a dark day. I don't. But it is what it is. That's why I commentate. That's why I'm an analyst. That's why I have to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Raw and uncut and unbiased. Have to be. And by the way, some people are going to say that I'm biased. I'm just a WWE show because I'm covering all this negative AEW stuff. No. I would do the same for WWE. It's no joke. I would. And by the way, Hook is looking possibly at looking at free agency. So we may be losing Hook in AEW. Tony Khan better be watching out. Some of his talent may just be going bye-bye. And that's a shame. That's a fucking crime. That's a shame. But anyway, I'm outie. I'll see you guys. I'll be back with